Hello everyone, welcome to another random vacation video that I'm making for Just Friends with Abdullah. Um, Again, I didn't expect I'm gonna make this video, but I think I don't know. You go on your vacations, you just walk around towns and cities, and you start having these thoughts and ideas and things we want to discuss and share. And I think I don't want to let this moment go by, and I forgot about it. So I am in the beautiful town of Lecce, south of Italy, here in Puglia, which is a beautiful region. I really recommend anyone that wants to visit this amazing, beautiful region. They got some incredible waters, incredible beaches. Like I'm right here in the square, just to the middle of the square, which is, I'm not really sure what it's called, piazza. That's what they call a square over here in Italy. So I am in a piazza. So there are two things that I wanted to talk about that were going through my mind in this vacation. Okay, I think in the previous video I spoke about how it's important to travel alone or just travel in general, because it allows you to really connect with people, understand different cultures, become a little bit more aware and become more solution oriented, which is, I always advocate for that. But I would say the most important thing for me is to talk about today is two kind of like something that I've always seen online recently, and it is the race to be successful, the race to make it, the race to be the best version of yourself, which I always champion, and I think that's very, very critical. I'm just gonna go have a seat, so people don't look at me awkwardly, but the race to be better is something I'll always encourage, and I think it's important. But what I want to mention specifically is prioritizing. You see, everybody has this idea that everything has to be achieved at the same time. And I think that's what leads to burnout. That's what leads to maybe lack of motivation. That's what can lead to just not doing anything, right? And that's when you have to make a decision. And I think that decision has to be on, what do you want to prioritize? Okay, here we go. So that decision should be on what you want to really prioritize and what you want to focus on. Because I think the question that we all need to ask ourselves is, what is important or what is needed to be done right now in this moment? Instead of trying to do 4 or 5 things at the same time, try to focus on doing one thing for a certain period of time. Accomplish what needs to be accomplished with it and work on that. Whether that's getting a new master's, whether that's learning a new skill, whether that's applying for a new job, whether that is, you have an ambition of saving X amount for 1 year to buy a house or a down payment on a house, or you want to buy a new car. Whatever you're trying to do, you need to have this idea of how you're able to separate your priorities. What are you focusing on? So for example, for me personally, in the next 6 months, I'm going to be focusing on a lot more on my health, on my fitness. I'm going to be focusing on learning a few business things that I'm working on, just ideas that I'm trying to do. I'm going to also focus on my podcast. That's it. These are the 3 things that I'm looking forward to really hone in. And my podcast, as you guys know, conduct interviews, do things. That's my goal, right? That's what I would like to do. So from your perspective, you need to decide as well what's going to be your focus, what's going to be your priority in the next 6 months, before the end of the year, and obviously beyond. But the point of this video the point of this conversation is to really highlight that you cannot just do everything at the same time. I've seen so many people get burnt, get discouraged, quit halfway, just because they're doing A, B, C, and D, and then they're under pressure to complete all of them, and they're not able to accomplish anything. And that is just sad, it's very discouraging to see. I'm just not a fan of it, because I feel like you can do so much more, but you're putting yourself in these bad positions because you're just mixing all the priorities in one go, and I feel like that just puts you in a very bad place. So that would be, topic number 1 that I wanted to discuss with you. The second thing that I wanted to highlight, and I feel like this is going to be This is not going to be super controversial. Let me walk. I can't decide between walking and sitting, as you can see. I feel, and so everybody like has their opinion on this, which is you want to have accomplishments, you want to have a goal, you want to achieve something in your life, right? But to get there, you need to go through the process of achieving it, right? If you're opening a clothing line, you need to design, you need to work with a factory, find the best material, whether it's cotton, polyester, find the country you want to ship it to, or if you're going to do it locally, coordinate on that, on logistics, so on and so forth. So many things, right? In any other business, something similar, in any ambition, any goal that you want to do. Specifically about starting like your own business, I guess, or starting your own adventure and how you want to make money. This is what I've come to realize, and I think this is for me personally, that also is applicable to me. You got to love the process of whatever you're doing. There's no avoiding it. You have to love the process of what you're doing to get to the goal that you want to do. If you're not enjoying the process, I think you're going to get burnt out, and I think you actually might hate what you do. Because now when you're not enjoying the process, you're looking at everything from a monetary success value. And if you look at things like that and you don't have the patience, or as we say in Arabic, the long breath, holding your breath for a long time. If you don't have those attributes, you're going to look at things from a plus and minus perspective in terms of value, monetary value, cost of living, investment, all of that stuff. And that is the worst way of, I think, conducting business or even starting the idea of what you want to do, an initiative. You have to love the process. If you're someone who's starting a real estate business, you have to love the process of talking to customers, breaking down the apartment or the villa, enjoying exploring the property, or even talking to developers about the designs or how they're working on their properties or what they're selling, and a lot of that, like the money part, the administration part, you have to enjoy it. Like if you don't enjoy the process of what you're trying to do, I don't think you'll be able to achieve your goal. And some people are going to be like, well, there are some things you don't have to enjoy the process to make money. Perhaps, but how long can you do it for? Do you see yourself doing it for 10, 15, 20, 30 years? You see, I see myself talking on a podcast, doing these interviews, sharing these videos for a very long time. Why? Because I like sharing stuff. I like talking about things. I like just giving out my mind. I like interviewing people. More importantly, I like helping people. I would help people even if it was not on a podcast, on a platform. That's just my thing. I like solving problems. I like to be on people's corner, because we all have so much struggle and so much shit that we go through. I just want to stand there, man. I want to stand there and champion and support and be there for you and understand what you're going through and talk to you and give you solutions and discuss anything that perhaps, that could be a stumbling block. That's just my perspective on winning. That is the win for me. Money, having payment, achievements, whatever you want to call that stuff, it comes, right? It comes depending on the success that you do. It depends on, you have to do your studies about the market, what people like. But eventually, if you're so good at what you do and you're passionate and you're loving the process and you're working on it day and night. And I think also the other part about loving the process, you will never be bored of what you do. Because there are people who be like, oh, you need the work-life balance, I'm like, bro, I can talk to people all fucking day. I can talk and interview people. I can have discussions with people all day, all night. From 12 in the morning, 12 at midnight to 12 at midday. I can do that because I love it. I enjoy it. So I enjoy the podcasting, the scripting, the talking, the whatever it is, And it's liberating to me. So if you're in that zone, right, of loving what you do, it will make your job, your adventure, whatever you do, so much easier. It will just, it will just allow you to really breathe and be on a much more, I think, excited, motivated. You will never feel like you're down. Obviously, there'll be days where you're like, in the mood to do it, but that doesn't mean that your passion for it stops. That doesn't mean that you don't want to do it anymore. That's not true. You fall in love again and again and again, and that's the best part about doing what you like to do, but at the same time loving the process of what you want to do and how you want to get there. So, 2 thoughts from the south of Italy. Thought number one is, actually I forgot what thought number one was, but I think, oh yeah, but the priorities, but choosing your priorities, choosing what is the most, in terms of urgency, and not trying to do everything in one go. And at the same time, the second thing was loving the process, loving what you want to do and how you want to get to it. So I hope I gave you guys a bit of wisdom, a bit of my thoughts. It's been good, it's been good traveling and going on this vacation, because it just allows me to really think about what's important in life, what we value, away from this social media scam, away from fakeness, away from just people being, I guess, unreal, right? And listen, I'm not one of those people that cares about what's real or not real. Everybody lives in the environment, and they make do with what they have and deal with the people that they're dealing with, whether they're real or not. So it's not like, I'm not gonna be making a fuss about that. It's just part of what life, right, gives you sometimes. But I think it's pretty good just to kind of like share raw things on your head, tell people how you feel about things, having eye-opening experiences that kind of like contribute to your consciousness and what you can do, what you can improve, and yeah, it's just a good feeling. So it's just a good feeling. It's really a good feeling. All right, guys, adios. We talk soon. Hope you guys had a blast, and I'll see you in an interview hopefully in a couple of weeks when I'm back in Dubai. I have someone lined up. They're really, really, really keen on talking to me. So I don't know what the topic will be about, but I guess it will be about something interesting, because that's what we do on the channel. So catch up soon, and ciao, as the Italians say.